Welcome back. In this tutorial, we are going to observe and understand basics of object-oriented programming with the syntactical demonstration. Now, here I am using a simple text editor available on my Linux machine, that is gedit. You can use any of your choice of text editor. Since this is the very first example, I am not using any IDEs like Eclipse. In order to save this program, I am going to use a specific directory in my file system, that is let us observe. Here I am creating a folder called tutorial, in which further I am going to save all these programs which I am using to demonstrate the upcoming exercises. Okay, so cd tutorial. Now in this text editor, I'll write a program and I will save that program in the just now created folder, and then let us see the steps. So here my text editor helps me to follow syntaxes of these all programming languages. So just a syntactical support, just only syntactical support I have, nothing more than that. So here, with what name I'm going to save this program? Just since this is a simple demonstration, I'm using a class called rectangle. So rectangle.java. So my class name is rectangle, and I'm going to save this file as rectangle.java. So public class rectangle. So make sure to have your public class name exactly matching with the file name. Otherwise, it is not going to work. What is the rule here? The public class name should and must match with the file name you are saving with, including with the case. Here I will have couple of member variables. What every rectangle will have which differs from another rectangle? Is it its color, or is it its background? No, its length and breadth. So every rectangle will have its own unique length and breadth. So here I am taking two double type variables, len double breadth. So you can take complete name, that is even fine. So now with what name you have to save this? Rectangle.java. So to prevent typographical errors, I am copy pasting the file name from my program and where I am supposed to save this program. Just some time back I have created a folder called tutorial. In this folder I have to save this file. With what name? Rectangle.java absolute case. Okay, make sure it should have .java extension. If you are using any operating systems different from Linux, make sure the program is saving with .java extension but not .java.txt. Okay, now I want to confirm from command window. So here, see, rectangle.java, it is not displaying any .txt extension. Observe, I am navigating the files from command line, not from graphical user. Okay, now here I want to calculate its area. How do I calculate its area? By multiplying the length with the breadth. Since this is a very first exercise, I am going to calculate the area of this rectangle outside of this class. So I am not modifying anything here, as it is. Now another class I am going to define, in which I will instantiate this rectangle class, and I will use the parameters of this rectangle. Okay, so the another class name is use rectangle.java. You can name it test rectangle.java, whatever you can, but don't save this as abcd.java, xyz.java. Don't use irrelevant names. Now public class use rectangle. Okay, now let us save this as use rectangle.java. Make sure it is getting saved again in the same folder just some time back we have created and where we earlier saved our rectangle.java. Did you notice I didn't change the text editor preferences to use Java syntaxes, but as soon as I saved the file with the .java extension, automatically Java has identified and came here type of the program I am creating. Now here public static void main string type array. Now in this class rectangle class object you have to create rectangle class r1 equals to new rectangle of. Now I got one rectangle object with which is referenced with the r1 reference variable. Now r1 dot length equals to 8.5, r1's breadth is 6.3, and now double a1, that is area, r1's length times r1's breadth. Now system dot out dot println area. What is the area is stored in which variable? A1. This is all. Now let us go to command window and try to compile, execute, and see the output. So before compiling, just you see the list of files. What all files are there? Rectangle.java and use rectangle.java. Now let us compile javac rectangle.java. But before executing this command, this program, make sure javac is available in your computer. Not only available, it should be configured. So see here javac hyphen version, I got some meaningful version number. Instead of that, if you get any something like this, javac is not command not found, or invalid command kind of error message there. Its meaning is you either did not install Java or you did not configure javac. What is the class you have? Rectangle.java, and javac use rectangle. Yeah, before javac use rectangle, let us see the list of files. Rectangle.class you have. Now let us try to execute java rectangle, java space rectangle. Will it execute? No, it will never be executed. The reason is it don't have main method. Every class should have a main method in order to execute that class from the command window or from any environment. If it don't have main method, it should be a JavaFX application. javac use rectangle.java and hit enter. After successful compilation of this program, once again you see the list of files. Now you can find rectangle.class and .java, use rectangle.class and .java files. Now let us try to execute Java, use rectangle and hit enter. Wow, you got the output. This is a simple object-oriented program, but in this program we are not following any standards. Now let us observe, let us increase the program size. Let us try to scale up the application. This is application, and this application is using the rectangle class. So this rectangle you can say component. So this is component and this is application. Okay, now what I told to scale up, right? Rectangle r2 equals to again new rectangle. Now how I have configured length and breadth through r1, the similar way r2 length equals to 8.0, r2 breadth is 6.3, 6.0. Now calculate the area. Double a2 is r2's length times r2's breadth. Now maybe this is looking very simple and very easy. System.out.println. The earlier one is area, you can say 1, and this is area 2, that means area of rectangle 2. So a2, save this, since you modified only use rectangle.java, you need to only recompile use rectangle.java. You don't need to compile rectangle.java. This class we did not change anything, so need not to recompile this, except only we need to compile use rectangle.java. Okay, now Java C use rectangle.java successfully compiled. Now Java space use rectangle. Observe the output. Since the logic is very simple, we don't feel any difficulty here, everything we feel comfort, but that is not the case. Then what is next? Right, let us observe. If the formula to calculate the area is not as simple as I wrote here, and if the formula extends into 7-8 lines, so what you have to do here, this kind of code, once you have to write with the R1, again the same code you have to write with R2. In production grade application, can we expect the whole application can run with only 2 instances? No, there may be so many instances, so many objects. So as many objects are there, as many times we need to repeat this code. Is this convenient? Is this feasible? Or is this manageable? How we can say this is not manageable? If the client wanted to change small expression in 10 lines of the area calculation logic, and we are using 15 or 20 objects, 15 or 20 times we need to update the formula. Client wanted a small change, but we need to modify the code so many times. So that is not manageable code. Not only that, this kind of code is not at all following any standard object oriented programming principle. Let us see how we can make the program to follow those all standards. Okay, so the first thing is setting up dimensions. If this is not rectangle, this is a complex class, so many parameters are there, you need to configure so many parameters, one in each line you have to do. As many objects you have, as many times you have to repeat this code. So like this, so many unmanageable practices we have. So these unmanageable approaches to be prevented. How we can do that? By writing appropriate operations or appropriate methods in the class, rectangle class. Okay, what is that method? We'll go back to the rectangle class and observe. So here we need to write a method. What is a method? Method is loosely comparable with function in any in procedural language. That kind of a method we are going to define here in this class. So that method is part of the class, since it is called a member method of the class. These two are member variables, and upcoming methods are member methods, since these are all members or parts of the rectangle class area, or calc area. Usually the method name will have two parts. One is a verb and the other one is a noun. And verb totally lowercase letters, and this is lowercase letters, and noun part capitalize the first letter. Now what is the return type? As a result of calculating the area, we get a double value. And then how you have to calculate the area? Right, let us observe. Since the return type is double, it should have a double variable of local to this method a. Okay, somehow we need to calculate get a value to a, and then finally return the value of a. Now how, this is actually the logic, how we get value to the variable a. Now let us discuss how to calculate the area of any rectangle by multiplying this length by this breadth. We get the area of rectangle. So length times breadth. How earlier we accessed these variables, in the similar way we can access this method. Now, how earlier we accessed those variables? With the object reference you accessed the variables. In the similar way, with any object reference you can call the method. Object reference. With which object reference you are calling that method? That particular object member data is to be accessed here. Okay, now calculate the area is done. Now, how to set up the dimensions to this rectangle class object? So, set dimensions is the method. As a result of setting up dimensions, this method is not going to return anything. So, the method return type should be void. And in order to set up dimensions, we should pass values to that method. How many values you have to pass? Since the rectangle have two dimensions, that is length and breadth, you need to pass two arguments to this method. Okay, argument, a new term we got to listen here. What is that argument? Argument means input to the method. Return value is the result or output of the method. Argument is input to the method. Okay, now double L and double B. Hope you can understand what is L and B stands for. L is the value to the member variable length and B to breadth. Okay, now length is the variable L, breadth is the variable B. Okay, as the result of these two methods defining which two methods? Set dimensions and area, calc area. What we can do here in the application, don't need to write these two lines. Instead of writing these two lines, what we can do, r1 dot set dimensions 8.5 and 6.3. now these two lines you can comment out, you can remove. These two lines are not going to execute. Now in the similar way, r2 dot set dimensions 8.0 and 6.0. Similarly, you can comment out these two lines. Now, let's come back to the area part. How you get the area? Calc area method you have. That method you have to call with R1. R1 dot calc area. Then R2 dot calc area. Now, let us try to execute, recompile the program and execute, and we'll come back here and discuss more and we'll continue. Here, Java C, use rectangle.java, successfully compile and then execute the program. There you go. You don't find any error, you don't find any difference even. Means the way how we upgrade, the way how we wrote the code is perfect. Is perfect in the sense is correct as per the syntax, as per the formula, logical accuracy. So these are things it is okay. But is it really good? We need to think, we need to even discuss on this. Even now this program is not very good. The reason is you can access, it allows us to access the R1 length and R1 breadth outside of the rectangle class. So that we should address. How we can do that? Let us recollect what all we have done so far using a small handout. Now I have created a class called rectangle. So rectangle is my class. In this rectangle class, what all I have? Two member variables and two methods. So double length and double breadth, and two operations. They are double calc area and void set dimensions. These are the methods I have. Just this is only specifications. I don't have any object. Just this is a class. Class means template or blueprint. That's all. In the application I have created objects. So application is altogether a different class. In that class, rectangle R1 equals to new rectangle. In the similar way, R2 equals to new rectangle. What will happen inside the machine as a result of doing these things? Let us observe. The rectangle class objects. First R1. So what is this R1? Simply it is a reference. It don't have any length nor breadth. It don't have any calci area nor set dimensions. Just it is only a reference. Okay. Now rectangle object at the right side. What is there at the? This is R1. What is there at the right side? Instantiation. That is object creation. So as a result of this, the new rectangle of, you get one object of the rectangle class. This rectangle class object is going to have two variables, member variables. They are length with a double value, with a double type value enough space, and then breadth is again another, and then two operations. They are calci area and set dimensions. Now what has happened here with this R1 and the instance, the equals? As a result of this equals, this R1 references to points, R1 points to this object. Okay, in the similar way we have one more object R2. So for R2 I have another object of the same rectangle class, and that's been referred by R2 reference variable. So this is that. Okay, now whenever R1 dot set dimensions you have called, what will happen? R1 dot set dimensions in the program. Here this is R1 dot set dimensions. What is the impact of this? What it is doing internally? It is taking two arguments we passed and then it is doing something, right? Here this is the first argument and this is the second argument. The first argument value it is keeping in the length, and second argument it is keeping in the breadth. With which variable, with which reference variable you called set dimensions, in that in that rectangle object length and breadth are there. Those length and breadth it is going to process. R1 dot set dimensions, R1 dot set dimensions of 8.5 and 6.3. In the similar way, R2's set dimensions. Okay, this 8.5 is going into this length and the 6.3 is going into this breadth. Okay, now when I call R2 dot set dimensions 8.0 and 6.0, what is happening? This 8.0 is going into this length and 6.0 is going into this breadth. Okay, now 8.0, 6.0, 8.5, 6.3. Now another small analysis I want. What is this? This is an instance of rectangle or object of rectangle. This is also an object or instance of rectangle. And what is this R1 and R2? Just these two are reference variables which refers to those instances or objects. Now what is the name of this object and what is the name of this object? Objects don't have names. Objects don't have names in Java. Objects have only reference variables. Okay, at any point of time further, if you call somewhere, if you call something like this, or 1 equals to new rectangle of. What will happen now? As the result of calling once again R1 equals to new rectangle of, the impact of it is going to create one more rectangle object in the free memory, and this R1 is going to point to the newly created rectangle object, not to this object. If R1 is name of this object, that name should be with that object forever, but it is not happening. At any point of time you create another rectangle object to this R1, immediately the R1 reference is moving from the old object to the newly created object. So the understanding here is objects don't have names in Java, and this is the basic understanding about object oriented programming. Few more things we need to understand for the completion of object oriented programming. Please watch. Thank you for watching.